Hello, welcome. This is Alchemize Yourself Tarot, where we really focus on self-actualization and realization and embodying profound, authentic, and meaningful growth. Tonight I'm going to do a spread exploring the freedom within the prison. So this is about how you can find inner freedom, insight, and strength even when you're feeling trapped, stuck, or confined by your circumstances. So this is about breaking away from things that are binding you, because in order to grow and evolve, you first have to identify what has been keeping you stuck and confined. And in a little pre-shuffle I did pull the first card here, and we have the Knight of Cups for what is currently confining or limiting you at this time. So this could be a physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual wall that's holding you back in some way. So the Knight of Cups coming through as a prison or a limitation means there's something in the area of feeling, emotions, either being overly led by emotion or not allowing yourself to be vulnerable when it comes to your emotions and the way you feel. What could also be confining you is you would be over-romanticizing a situation or trying to be vulnerable. Because when I looked on the bottom of the deck, it was the Three of Cups. So this could be you're really struggling to connect with other people, or you're struggling to find your tribe. This could also be opening yourself up and being vulnerable to reconnecting with a particular person or group of people. Because Three of Cups is all about celebrations, going out, connecting with others. Some of you may be feeling really isolated. You're wanting to connect, but you're struggling with opening up and being vulnerable. So we're going to break this down. We're going to go deeper into finding the key to unlocking these limitations, these emotional limitations. So struggling to reach out, struggling to possibly, connect with others. You may be struggling in your romantic life. There could be these limitations when it comes to being intimate. Intimacy does require that you have the ability to open up and trust. But we can also have limitations in our emotions by being overly emotionally attached to people that aren't necessarily good for us. So this can, show up in different ways. Culturally, we're taught to romanticize love and connection, but these things take a lot of work, right? It takes a lot of working on being confident in yourself to take action. So let's get some more cards. What is the key here to unlocking this limitation in how you feel, how you're feeling right now? What is the key? What is symbolizing the tool, insight, or resource that can help you break out of this emotional blockage when it comes to taking actions based on how you feel? Now keep in mind, this could be reversed. You could be dealing with somebody struggling with this. So with tarot, collective tarot readings, we're just picking up on energy. So what's going to help us and you to break free at this time opening up, expressing yourself. I'll put these back, but we have 2 here. We have 2 of Swords and the Countess of Staffs. So this is like the Queen of Wands with the 2 of Swords. So the key insight is taking action to make a decision, standing in your confidence and power. The Countess of Staff, this is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is confident, passionate. The Queen of Wands does not doubt themselves. You know, this is somebody that's usually very expressive, but it comes from a place of maturity, not needing to overpower or take over the room, but standing in power, dignity, and confidence. And you have somebody here, whether this is you or another person, needing to break out of a stalemate, needing to take action, needing to make a decision. 2 of Swords can also be, you know, a stalemate that comes from not having all the information, not knowing what to do, not knowing the path that you should take. So it's very hard to be emotionally vulnerable when you're struggling to even know what you're supposed to do. But one thing I know about the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Wands has the confidence to act in their own best self-interest. Not selfish, unless the Queen of Wands is in shadow, which can be selfish and demanding. But the key to unlocking this is to stand in your power. Be confident in who you are. Be confident in the decision to open up, to express yourself. There could also be a strong attraction here. And someone may not know what to do in regards to that attraction and passion. It can feel very intense and strong. So the inner sanctuary, where can you find refuge and peace despite feeling blocked in expressing yourself? How can you find peace? 2 of Swords does indicate somebody pulling back or withdrawing in order to find peace, stillness, inner strength, answers from within. It can be similar to like a high priestess energy where you withdraw in order to find answers within yourself. I'm also getting with this Queen of Wands is it's time for somebody else to take action. You're standing in your power, your confidence, but sometimes you have to allow somebody else to approach as well. You know, the Queen of Wands understands that that you're, I don't know, Queen of Wands is like that, the fire and water energy. It's a very alchemical queen because there's a balance between the masculine and feminine energies within the Queen of Wands, and with the 2 of Swords being here, Queen of Wands usually knows what they want, but you need to allow somebody else to open up and express what they want as well. So finding inner sanctuary. Where is this inner peace that you can find at this time? Well, 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords is all about retreat, rest, not taking action. Maybe you've always been the one to initiate. Sometimes the Queen of Wands will come right out and express attraction, or, you know, they can be very social, very charismatic, but right now your inner sanctuary is to not take action, to make peace with Possibly someone else's inability to take action and express themselves. This person has to find the courage within themselves. It's not necessarily your place to try to take action or initiative or do anything. For some of you, you have actually moved on from a particular situation. You've made peace with it. You're retreating. You're in a meditative state. You're not trying to extract any sort of expression from a particular person. Your freedom comes from not allowing another person's inability to express themselves to disrupt your peace. It's not time for you to take action, even though the Queen of Wands many times does have, a strong desire to take action. Can be very fiery and passionate and also very emotionally expressive, but it's not time for that. It's time to take care of yourself. Some of you are healing. You're not wanting any drama. You're not wanting to force somebody else's hand of cards, that sort of thing. So what is the guidance here? What wisdom or guidance is available as you retreat, as you seek answers from within? You're not seeking answers from a particular person. The wisdom and guidance here. The Tower and we have the Strength card. Wow, this is intense energy. The wisdom and guide is your strength, your fortitude is going to cause somebody to break, right? It's going to cause a Tower. You're resistant to want to take action is causing an awakening within somebody else. There's a Tower here. There's a deep transformation. There's a breaking of power, will, and ego. That is, someone has to surrender their ego. So there's definitely a power struggle going on between you and another person. And you may have strong desire and emotions for this person, but you're going to let them decide. You're retreating, right? You've detached yourself with strength and fortitude, and now it's coming down to a power of the will and ego. Now, you may be in a little bit of an ego energy as well. I mean, the Queen of Wands has a very healthy, balanced relationship with the ego, especially a healthy Queen of Wands energy. Now, when Queen of Wands gets into distortion, it can be like needing validation and needing to win, needing to dominate, but you're not doing that. Your guide is your strength is causing this other person to struggle. I think this Knight of Cups is the person going through the ego struggle. Now, some of you could be, maybe you're feeling like you're about to break. You're about to, express vulnerability. But I'm not necessarily seeing this because the inner sanctuary here is Four of Swords. You're kind of also being guided to not take action. It's time for this person to open up and be vulnerable, and this is going to cause a Tower moment. You not doing anything. Sometimes inaction is the breaking point. And this is somebody struggling with their ego. This is the biblical scene where Jacob wrestles with the angel. This is when his name changes to Israel, if you're familiar with biblical. But he's basically wrestling with this angel, with God. It's like the ego versus the higher self, higher states of consciousness, angelic guidance. This person is really struggling with that, but it's going to cause a major transformation for them with that Tower. And it could come very unexpected, so you may feel a little stuck, like not a lot is happening, but that Tower comes to kind of break the dam in a sense, or it breaks down the ego, the walls, all the fortitude that's causing that Two of Swords stalemate. Now, so the guidance is the angel of guidance, holding firm in your confidence and your healing in order to create transformation in a dynamic or situation. So what is your path to freedom in this situation? Or it could be that this a person you're dealing with, this is a path towards their healing. It's going to be a major breakthrough. Towers represent breakthroughs. They are not always easy. They can be chaotic. They can be extremely disruptive. But I feel like this is more like an ego thing. What step can you take to move towards liberating yourself from this tension that's been building? And this did want to flip upside down. 3 of Coins in the reverse. The practical or spiritual action is to not try to fix things or make it work, because 3 of Coins can be all about collaboration, teamwork, working together. You're not doing that. The path to freedom is not trying to fix things. So that's kind of interesting. We have the 4 of Swords and the 3 of Coins in the reverse. Those are cards of not doing anything, not taking action, not trying to fix something. And it does cause a breakage, right? When you don't try to work on something, when you're not trying to fix something, what happens? It crumbles. Everything that's been built there, the foundation isn't there. It falls out from underneath the top. There's no foundation when there's no building, when there's no collaborative teamwork. When you're not putting in the work, or when somebody's not, reciprocating effort, or being emotionally vulnerable. And this can apply to all your relationships. When there's a lack of collaborative effort put into your friendships, your relationships, and you allow things to unfold naturally without trying to do too much. Because I'm getting some of you may have tried to do too much. Maybe you did try to make things work. You would pry a confession out of somebody, or be the first to reach out. You were always the first to be emotionally vulnerable. Well, that dynamic is changing. And it's shifting. So not trying to fix things, not trying to work. And if a friend or a relationship or a person doesn't put in that effort, it's going to naturally crumble. So people naturally start to fall away or be removed from your life. People that would be causing you to be in some sort of inner prison within yourself, affecting your confidence and your ability to create in any sort of way. The people that can't choose to show up naturally don't have a place in your life anymore. And that can be really intense when you realize you were always the one working on things, putting in the effort, but you're being called to remove yourself and heal. And it puts the ball in their court. It's like, okay, well, if you want to be with me, if you have feelings towards me, you're going to have to, wrestle with your own ego about that and take action. So what's the vision beyond all of this? What is the vision? what awaits on the other side of this, you know, confinement, interior confinement or prison that you're feeling yourself to be in. What's on the other side when you remove your energy? This is about energy removal, not taking action, being in feminine receptive energy. And this is a process for the Queen of Wands. Like I said, that fire and water energy with the Queen of Wands can be a struggle for the Queen of Wands to not initiate. Initiation comes very easily for Queen of Wands, because usually, you know, when they feel passionately about something, they usually do it. But this is not time for that. And this is a big lesson and strength for you too as well, if you're a divine feminine experiencing this. But what is the potential after overcoming the limitation of not being the one to fix, people please, or work through something, the one that's focused on your healing, the other side of this? What is on the other side? What is on the other side of it? Nothing wants to come out. What is on the other side? Eight of Swords. Okay. Eight of Swords is all about being stuck and trapped within yourself. Another card of not standing in your power, feeling like a victim. Somebody's here is going to be the damsel in distress, whether it's masculine or feminine. Someone's going to feel really stuck in their head because maybe they are expecting you to be the one trapped and stuck. This is imprisonment of the mind, Eight of Swords. I feel like there's a role reversal, any sort of mental confinement that you have been experiencing shifts. It shifts to the other person, and you remain grounded and stable and sitting in your worth, collective. Because I don't feel like you would be doing all this inner work just to end up in a prison, which some of you may feel like you don't like this position. It makes you feel very uncomfortable, not working through something, allowing it to crumble. There could be discomfort in not working on something. Because in the past, you may have felt like you were the one that was the glue to everything. This is interesting. I want to go a little deeper here, or a lot deeper, however we want it. I'm going to use some Lenormand here to kind of break this down a little more, because I am curious, and this could all be playing out in your head. This could be a period of discomfort for some of you, but it could also be a period of discomfort for whoever you're dealing with, whoever you're blocking and retreating from, because there's this tower, this strength. What doesn't destroy you makes you stronger. Just remember that. Allow things to fall away. Allow those bars to drop away, because this could actually be wasted effort or energy. That could be the hidden message behind this. There are certain things that we're not meant to fix or work on, especially if there are major blockages in choosing a path. Somebody has this inability to choose, and there is this feeling of being stuck, and you may feel that discomfort, collective. So the prison is this Knight of Cups. Also, you could be waiting, thinking that somebody's going to take action, And really you just kind of gets caught up and stuck up in your head. Also, people are witnessing this play out. Like, there's a little bit of victimization playing out here. Why is this Knight of Cups? Oh, the Moon. Yeah, hidden feelings. And with the Eight of Hearts, this is like the Eight of Cups. Walking away. Going quiet. Things being hidden. Unexpressed emotions, but also emotional detachment mixed in with that. A lot of things have been left unsaid. Feelings. This could be a situation where a relationship or a situation naturally kind of just dissipated, and there were a lot of unresolved feelings and emotions here. There was a lack of closure. A lot of relationships that are built on ego and faulty foundations, a lot of those relationships do tend to dissipate on their own, especially if one person is the only one taking action. So someone could be silent, ghost, no closure, unfinished business, hidden fears, and all sorts of feelings about this. So the key, what's unlocking this? Yeah, well, the Clover is all about good luck, a turn of events. This could be like the Wheel of Fortune, like a big shift in your luck. And with the Six of Diamonds here, that's the Six of Pentacles. This is reciprocity. Getting into, only accepting balanced exchange, reciprocity, equal give and take, having a strong sense of value and worth, knowing that if you're going to put effort in, you're going to get that back in return. The Queen of Wands understands that. And the Rider, yeah, wish fulfillment. Some of you do have somebody coming towards you, and they are your wish fulfillment, and they will know who you are, right? The Rider with the Clover, this is somebody that actually, this is not somebody who can't make a decision. Two of Swords. So somebody is going to possibly surprise you, collective. And it may come as a Tower, having new people, new energy, or a person come in a new energy. I'm also getting strong secret admirer vibes off that Knight of Cups with the Moon. That is definitely like a secret crush, an admirer, somebody that hasn't expressed themselves to you yet. Could certainly be a crush or even somebody from your past, but you definitely don't see this coming with the Two of Swords and the Moon card. Why is the inner sanctuary, the Four of Swords? Let's get a little bit deeper. The Lady. Yeah, the Divine Feminine. Ace of Swords, the truth. Somebody's seeing the truth. Somebody has to wake up. They have to heal, and they have to see the truth about who you are. And that lady is I'm identifying that as the Queen of Wands. The person having a breakthrough, a realization. Also, this could be needing to speak a truth. Somebody has not been ready to express themselves. And the guide, the wisdom, is a holdout for true commitment. This is a new beginning, and it may shock the hell out of you with that Tower and Strength card. When you're standing in your power and your strength, this can create powerful breakthroughs and transformational shifts. And it's Mars, Ace of Wands, it's fire. Ace of Swords, somebody that knows what they want. And whoever from your past that did not, that maybe kept you feeling stuck for a long time, those people will just naturally fall away because they are not the one